Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat, a series in partnership between WIMpeg and the Monmouth Independence Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center, featuring our members so our community can get to know them beyond their business or organization. And joining me today, I have Melanie Zermer, who is the president of Willamette Information News and Entertainment Service, or the KMUZ Governing Board. Melanie, thanks for being here.
Thank you. I really appreciate having an opportunity to talk to your viewers and talk a little bit about myself and KMUZ, the organization that I'm the president of the board of.
Super. So let's just jump into it. And why don't you let us know what kind of relationship have you established with KMUZ? Well, first of all, just tell us a little bit about KMUZ.
Yeah,
how about that? Let's start there.
Sure. Well, KMUZ is a community radio station, and it has, for 3 years, we've been on the air at 88.5 FM. And even though the main impetus behind the community radio station came from a group of people in Salem, the actual 88.5 signal was reaching Monmouth and Independence, Stayton and Sublimity, Jefferson, and even parts of Albany, and not so much Salem. So we thought, well, we really need to engage with our communities around us, and so that's how I first met Monmouth and Independence. I met Monmouth and Independence. And some of the people I met up with was Mark Fancy, because he was involved in the city of Monmouth, and Terry Gregory, who I can't even remember how I met her, but I knew that she was an important person to meet with. And then I met with Jean Love from the Chamber of Commerce, and we decided to join the Chamber of Commerce because, well, what the heck, you guys could hear us out here, and we wanted you to be a part of our radio station. So that's how KMUZ started, and that's why we're involved in Monmouth Independence.
Super. So with KMUZ, it's very strongly volunteer-based. You have a lot of people who do who are DJs or do the production side simply because that's their passion, it's their interest. Mm-hmm. I know I've been on some of the radio shows.
Yeah,
I've been down to your station. I've seen the behind the scenes and whatnot, and I have to admit, radio is a lot more fun because you don't have to worry about a TV camera. But
right. Yeah, you can do it in your pajamas.
Right. You know, but you definitely have this passion of people who are there because they want to be.
Right.
And again, it's the volunteer base.
Right.
So it's not I'm being paid to do it, but I want to do it because it's fun, it's engaging.
That's right. And for me, the reason I'm there is it's about building community. So the reason I got involved in the community radio station is I wanted to make sure people knew about what was happening in their local governments, what was happening in the nonprofit world, and what was happening in some of the some communities that you don't think of when you think of the Mid-Willamette Valley. For instance, we just interviewed a woman today about the Vietnamese lunar celebration that's coming to Salem on Saturday. Now, most people don't know about that, but your community radio station is a place to showcase the community. So that's really why I'm there. But you're right, a lot of people are there to play their music, but we really emphasize whatever genre of music you play, make sure you include local bands and local musicians. If you can do a live performance that showcases the people here, that's more the purpose of a community radio station.
So now that you've learned more about the Monmouth Independence community, what's one of the features that really stands out to you about our area?
Well, you know, I've really come to love coming out here. There's something about the Monmouth and Independence community that makes it feel, well, I know your website says hometown values, and it really feels like that. In the Monmouth area, for instance, you have the town square, and that's just like the old villages were set up in the northeast part of the United States. And I love that feeling like everybody's surrounding the park. And I really like both Independence and Monmouth have great music festivals in the summertime. Music in the Park in Monmouth, and I'm not sure what the one is called in
River's Edge Summer Series.
River's Edge Summer Series on Fridays. I think that's great. It really brings people out. People of different kinds of people will come out together and share the same experience. And to me, that's another building, a community building experience. So I really like that. It feels really wholesome here.
I agree. My husband and I, not being from here originally, we value those same parts of this community. Mm-hmm. What about you referenced KMUZ being a member of the Monmouth Independence Chamber. Mm-hmm. So in your time as a member, what has been one of the better or stronger benefits that you feel like you've received through your membership?
Right. I think what's really important are the the gatherings Wednesday at noon. Do you call them greeters?
We call them just our monthly forum.
Monthly
but
forum.
A lot of chambers do have greeters, yes.
Yeah, in Salem it's called the greeters.
Yeah.
But I think just being able to hear from all the different people who are part of the chamber and part of the community, you get a chance to hear their name, what their business and organization is, and then you get to network with them. And I think making a personal connection is what makes people more interested in learning more about your business or organization.
You know, it's interesting you talk about the networking. I think by far that's one of the top answers people give when I ask them about the chamber membership benefits would be the ability to network. You can have an ad, you can do promotional opportunities, which are great. You can Facebook and website and the electronic footprint, but there's still just that one-on-one, the networking, the eye-to-eye contact, shaking hands, and getting to know someone that goes a long way. Especially in a small community when people can really get to know you.
Yeah, if you know that person's son, or if you happen to have had a business dealing with that person's in-law, it makes you more connected to them, and it makes you more like a part of them. They are you, you are them. We want to support each other. So yeah, that personal connection is really important, even in light of all the social media. I agree.
So now let's go to you more as Melanie. What has been one of your greatest professional accomplishments?
You know, I was thinking about this on the way over because I knew you were going to ask that question. And I think every step of the way I did something that really amazed myself. And as I look back in time, probably the first major thing that I was involved in that was really big and really important for the community, I was probably in my late 30s, and I was one of the people that helped bring Planned Parenthood to Marion County, and I thought, wow, that was an amazing accomplishment. And then next thing you know, I got involved in my neighborhood association, and I got involved in the inner workings of the city government in Salem, and then I actually ran someone's campaign, and we won. It's like, wow, that's amazing. And now being president of a nonprofit board, I've never been on a nonprofit board before. I helped create the nonprofit. I'm not an attorney, right? And now I'm president of the board, and it's really, really hard, but I'm also very proud.
So this sounds like a combination of professional and personal accomplishments.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So you obviously, a lot of the items that you referenced are things one would do on volunteer time, not paid time.
Right.
So you have a true spirit of volunteerism in what you do.
Yes. You know what? I don't have children, and I feel like the community is my child. I feel like KMUZ is my baby, and I'm raising it with all these other people. It truly takes a village.
And the parents never bicker, I'm sure, with one another.
Never.
So one of my favorite questions that I ask people who do Chamber Chat, what is a skill, an interest, or a hobby that you have that might surprise people?
Ooh. You know, it's weird because I'm so busy now. I also still work. So
there is a job.
Yeah, I'm a massage therapist. I teach at the massage school, and I do some consulting with the state hospital. So I've got 3 jobs and KMUZ, so not a lot of downtime. But for me, it's kind of embarrassing to actually say, but I like to watch trashy crime shows on TV at the end of the day. Totally mindless. Not really. I've got Netflix now, so I kind of roam around Netflix. But you know what? West Wing is my go-to show. If I can't figure out what I want to watch, West Wing is funny, it's smart, and it's educational.
So you want to kill a few minutes, relax, unwind,
right.
West Wing's your answer.
Right, that's right.
So I've been lately more of a, not as educational, but been more of a Big Bang fan on the reruns of watching Big Bang.
Oh, okay. See, and I don't even know that one.
It's a 30-minute sitcom, and
all right.
It's entertaining. So at the end of a long day for me, that's one of those that I'll flip over to Big Bang and just sort of chuckle.
All right, so you mindless stuff too. Yeah, you know, you got to empty it out at the end of the day. Right. I call it my braino moment.
Yeah, it's been really interesting what responses people have given to their interests or hobbies. And, you know, I'm more like you. Just at the end of the day, I want to watch, just don't make me think anymore. Just watch some mindless TV.
Yeah, watch somebody else's problems.
Right. Well, so Melanie, it sounds like things are going very well with KMUZ. You've been around 3 years now. What started as a true grassroots, you know, desire amongst a group has grown into a successful community radio station, 88.5.
And 100.7.
Yes, and I was saying you now have because I got that email, like we are now. So tell me real quick about that.
All right. Well, the important thing is 88.5 FM got us on the air and into the community, but we were only reaching about 35,000 people, and none of them in Salem, really. But we recently got a repeater or a translator going now. It's been on the air for almost 2 weeks. It's 100.7 FM, and so that allows all the people in Salem and Kaiser to tune in too. So we've just increased our listenership 7-fold. So now about 235,000 people can potentially listen to us. Our challenge now is to get them to tune in.
Right. Well, super. So congratulations on all the successes thus far.
Thank you.
Your real job, if you will, or the paying job, I should say, all your volunteer efforts, and it just sounds like things are going very well, and I appreciate you hanging out and chatting for a little bit.
Thanks, Jean. Really appreciate it.
Hi, and welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining me now is Alex Page, who is the new general manager at Burgerville. Thanks, Alex, for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right. So I know that you're originally from the Monmouth Independence area, and you are now the general manager of Burgerville. So if you would, just let me know a little bit about, growing up here and coming back to work here.
You know, I grew up in the town. It was really, really fantastic. I'm sorry, I'm all sorts of tongue-tied. I apologize. I worked for Burgerville for about 6 years after leaving Monmouth Independence, and they're a fantastic company, and it's really nice to be back. It's really nice to be able to come back to the town that I grew up in and work for a company that I really love working for.
So now you've been the actual general manager here at the Monmouth Burgerville location for how long? Like 3 months, 2 months?
3 months, yeah.
Okay, and we're filming this in February, so you came in at the end of last year, and here you are. Now, did you go through the ranks at Burgerville? Did you start there and work your way up to the general management position?
I did. I started as an assistant in Albany, and I was there, like I said, for 6 years. And I left the company actually for about 3 years. Worked for a different restaurant in Salem to be a little bit closer to home. And then the guy that I worked for in Albany, my general manager at the time, Donald, he gave me a call a couple of months back and said that they had an opportunity here and wanted to see if it was something I'd be ready for and something that would fit in my life, and it turned out it did.
Great. And so you said you had moved to, or you were working in Salem to be closer to home, and this obviously gets you really close to home.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you find, being from the Monmouth Independence area, being raised here as a child and now coming back, and even when you were working in the Salem area, what do you think is really one of those strong features about our community that just makes us stand out from others?
It's Monmouth Independence are so community driven. They just are so supportive of one another. We have our fundraiser nights at Burgerville, and one of the things that we've noticed in a town as small as this is that the turnout is sometimes bigger than in some of the bigger towns where there's a lot more people that could show up. It just goes to show how much Monmouth Independence really supports one another.
So now, as far as your community nights that you do, explain how those work.
We set up a day, usually one of the slower days of the week, so we can kind of measure how successful a night it is. And we just give back 10% of all the sales we make between like 5 and 8 p.m. To whatever organization wants to raise some funds. Sometimes we'll set up goals. If they hit a certain amount of sales, we'll give them 15%, or we'll give them an extra $100 for this or that. We try to be pretty flexible about it, but it's really easy to do, really easy to set up, and we're always looking for more.
And I know some different organizations promote their community nights in different ways, but it's not uncommon the night of one of the community nights to come to the corner right there where Burgerville's located and see people on the corner holding up signs.
Yep.
Come to Burgerville, buy your dinner, and that type of thing. Support blank organization. Balloons or signs and something to wooze, or something to get people in, and then you can see the number of cars that are turning in. Like, okay, we'll do this for dinner instead. So It is, and I was part of one of those. We had an opportunity to do the fundraising, and it was fun watching people come in and just like, hi, and thank you for being here today, and part of your proceeds will be supporting blank organization. You're like, oh, wow, that's really cool. So, and you said you're always looking for more organizations with whom you can work to do these community nights.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they would just contact you if they're interested in doing that.
Yep, any member of the management team can take care of them. They're really easy to set up. It's 2 pieces of paper, that's pretty much all we need, and then pick a date. And it's fun to watch. Some of them are more successful than others, depends on how much they advertise. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's probably one of my most favorite parts of the job. So.
So with the Chamber, we have our community calendar, and I noticed that you had actually gone in and submitted some of the community nights that organizations had partnered with you to do in these coming weeks. And I just thought it was really nice on your part to add that extra promotional opportunity for them and getting the word out that on this night you can come to Burgerville and support this organization. And so I thought it was a nice touch that you offered to help support that cause. So thanks for using our calendar.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad it's there. It's a great tool to use. And anything that we can do to get the word out a little bit more. We're trying to play with Facebook a little bit and looking at Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. I'm not very familiar with most of them and how they work, but yeah, we're just trying to get the word out.
So now, as far as being a member of the Chamber, and I know you've been the general manager here for 3 months, so not around as long, but what would you say so far has been one of your the better benefits of your Chamber membership?
It's really the people. Anytime I've needed to know anything about the town, where to go, who to talk to, there's always somebody, there's always a Chamber member right around the corner to help me out, and I've got Cody working for me, and he's just phenomenal. Yeah, it's the people in the networking, getting to know the people in the community. When I started in Albany, actually, getting involved with the Chamber of Commerce there was one of the first things that I wanted to do. It makes things a lot easier to get to know the community and the town that you're in. You guys are an amazing resource. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And for clarification, Cody is a young man who is a senior here at Western Oregon, getting a degree in business, and has been interning at the Chamber office since September of 2014. So he's been quite an important part of the Chamber office in helping move our projects forward. And yeah, Burgerville was actually the former manager, John, actually is the one who sent Cody my way. So Cody's been an asset to me as well.
Good.
So.
He's a great kid.
Yeah. Now, what would you say has been one of your greatest professional accomplishments?
Well, honestly, becoming a general manager was a huge accomplishment. It's something I'd worked for a while. But on top of that, there's a lot of people that worked for me in Albany that were, started off as a kid fresh out of high school, and it was their first job ever. And a lot of them are now assistant managers in the company, team managers. Even the general manager in Albany now, Ashley, she was one of my employees all those years ago, and now she's, going to meetings with her, and she's a peer that I get to share in her accomplishments. So.
That's great. And
Yeah.
John, again, former manager, he did Chamber Chat, as well as Colleen, one of your assistant managers, and just hearing people talk about Burgerville, it sounds like such a great company for whom one can work, and just the opportunities that are presented to employees. Employees seem very passionate about that company, so kudos for working for Burgerville. What would you say has been one of your greatest personal accomplishments?
I've got an amazing wife and 2 wonderful kids. Really, in my opinion, there's no better personal accomplishment. I've got a great family that I really adore, so it doesn't get much better than that.
And I know you had submitted some photos. There's one of you teeing off, it looks like.
I was in Alaska.
Oh, that's Alaska. That's
beautiful.
beautiful.
I was in Sitka. It was fantastic.
And was that a family trip?
No, it's just went up there with a friend of mine.
Okay.
I got an opportunity to go up there and actually help him move. But at the same time, I got to really enjoy going to Sitka and going golfing.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So what has, again, this is probably my favorite question I ask people every time I do this, but what is a hobby or skill or an interest you have that would surprise people?
There's probably a lot about me that surprises people, but I love to cook. I really love to cook. It doesn't come as too much of a surprise working for a restaurant. I really love working woodworking. I used to build custom cabinetry with my uncle, and it's amazing being able to create something, you know, from scratch. You know, just from raw lumber, to be able to turn it into, you know, beautiful, you know, oak cabinets or cherry hickory. I mean, it's just so much that you can do. Yeah, it's passionate about it. I love
that's the first woodworking response I've had. I know when I was in middle school, I took a shop class, and my goal, well, I made a spice rack. It did not lay flat on the wall. It was 3 pieces of wood with like the end, and it was my one experience of woodworking. I did not accelerate or excel, I should say, at this. And yeah, so if anyone who can take a piece of wood and make something beautiful out of it, you know, that's impressive to me, because I did not do too well.
I definitely didn't start out making anything beautiful, but started getting a little bit better. It's a lot of fun, though. A lot of fun.
Great. Well, Alex, I've enjoyed chatting with you, getting to know you better, and welcome back to the community. And you know, thanks for sharing your time, as well as thank you for all the community outreach that you do through Burgerville, and just being so supportive of Monmouth and Independence. So thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Hi, and welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining me now is Josh Brandt, who is the owner of Crush Wine Bar in Monmouth. Thanks for joining me, Josh.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
And I must also say you are currently our president of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors.
I am. I took that step, you know, as one of those things.
So let's find out a little bit about you first, and
Okay.
then we can talk chamber later. So you're from the Monmouth Independence area, born and raised, well, not born specifically in Monmouth, but raised in this area. Why start your business in Monmouth Independence area?
You know, it was interesting. I finished college in Portland, and I moved to Idaho. And while I spent a little bit of time there, I thought, I was thinking about maybe getting in the industry. It wasn't the greatest spot for it. And so I contacted family, friends, mainly my mother and grandfather and father, and, you know, threw some ideas across, and they said, well, why not come back to Monmouth? And it was something I originally hadn't planned. I've loved the community, but I just hadn't thought about that. And after talking about the community growth, and I really enjoyed growing up here, I thought, what a good spot to maybe go back and start a new venture. So came back here in 2008, and did a research for about 2 years, and in late 2009, early 2010, I opened.
Right.
So it was kind of, you know, the community, like you said, growing up here, I've always enjoyed it, and you know, the college being here, the growth I really enjoy, beautiful area, centrally located, fits me perfect.
So tell us about Crush. What makes it stand out from other businesses?
Wow, you know, that's a great question. I think one of the things when I first opened, what I really wanted to look at was making sure that I could create something that was different. And I don't know what different was really, but I wanted to do kind of a nicer ambiance. I wanted to bring in kind of the influences of, you know, the wine industry is so big in Oregon, and so the growth of that was going in. And so after discussing again with family and friends, I thought, why not maybe do something with wine? And when I first opened, I geared heavily towards the wine industry, and some things have changed since then, but for the most part, I've stuck with it. And it was just, you know, just like I said, I thought this community could use something that was, you know, I don't know, maybe, you know, a little bit nicer. It's a terrible word to use in a sense, but you know, I just wanted something clean, safe. Being 24, 25 when I opened, something that I could manage with no prior experience. I don't know if people knew that about me, but I've never worked in the restaurant industry in my entire life, and so that was one thing too. Was I had to kind of water a few things down to start with to make it so I didn't stretch myself too thin, and it ended up working out really well for me.
So 5 years later.
5 years later, yeah.
It's still Crush Wine Bar, but
It
you
is.
have a full bar. It's not
Correct.
just the wine. You
Yep.
obviously have a full bar. You've got a full menu. You've managed to grow within your own, obviously, abilities to not only own the restaurant, but to work it, to make the drinks, to cook the food, to bring to the service that people expect when they come to a restaurant. And yeah, 5 years later, you're still going strong, so that's good.
5 years, exactly. Can't complain. It was a quick 5 years, really. It seemed like, the first 3 were very long and tiresome, and then it was like, well, no, it went pretty quick, and then the whole 5's been quick, and now it seems like every month is very quick. I don't know if that's me getting older or if it's me getting used to. I have no idea, but I think it's a little combination of all the above. But
well, when you're younger, people always, older people tell you, "Oh, time flies when you get older," and you don't believe it, and all of a sudden it does.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. It's moving pretty quick right now.
So, would you say having this successful bar restaurant, has been your greatest professional accomplishment and personal accomplishment?
Yeah, it's definitely up there. Like I said, without the previous experience, I always thought I had the ability to be able to do it. I knew it was going to be a big learning experience for myself, and it kind of. I guess personally, yeah, it's been great to see, because like I said, for 5 years I've been doing it. It had definitely its ups and downs in the restaurant industry, and I think personally I feel really good about it. And then professionally, for sure, I played baseball in college, very time consuming, enjoyed it. I didn't have too many jobs growing up other than working for family businesses or helping out around town. And so it kind of does fit in one category for myself, as personally and professionally. It's been a big accomplishment. And 5 years has probably been the coolest thing. At first, I wasn't even going to tell people about the 5 years. I was kind of thinking, and then because I felt weird about it. I don't know why. And then for some reason, the more it settled in and the more I started to think about the accomplishments and stuff, I started to get more and more comfortable with it. And once I got more comfortable with it, then it was kind of like, that's pretty cool, in a lack of a better word. I was like, one night I was like, that's pretty cool. 5 years. I don't know if everybody has a chance to say that. And again, because of the ups and downs, it makes me feel a little bit better about it.
And it's definitely an accomplishment. Unfortunately, a lot of small businesses don't get to make that 5 year mark. So that says a lot about what you've done with your business, for your business, in your business.
Well, thank you.
Speaking of your business, so it's February now as we tape this, and we are in the midst of our annual Community Awards banquet prep coming up in March. Last year, we started a new way of having the community vote for our award winners for businesses and organizations. Last year, Crush took home the trophy, if you will, for best food and food and beverage service provider. And so, again, right now, our voting is open to everyone in the community. You can check out our website. There's a link, and you can vote. All of our members in good standing are listed. So it's that time of year again,
it is,
where we'll see what Crush comes out this time.
Yeah, Crush has put forth a little bit more effort than I did last year for it. So, I've been discussing the community quite a bit more. I've been discussing the chamber quite a bit more, and I've been discussing my business quite a bit more. And, being the chamber president too, now there's a few extra roles that I have with the whole thing. And it's been a great learning experience for me. But for sure, I've doing quite a bit more marketing this year, trying to take home that trophy again.
The fact you won last year does say a lot about how the community feels about your business.
Correct.
So again, now you're at the 5 year celebration, so that does say a lot. Now, speaking of chamber, you are our current president for the board this year, and you've been a member of the chamber for many years now. What would you say, as a business owner, has been one of your greatest benefits?
Well, the resources have been really good for me. I could definitely do a better job of utilizing the resources that are provided for me through the chamber, like chamber rewards, chamber chat, things like that. So it's been really helpful for me to get in, understand the chamber more from a personal standpoint, because I was the one that was like, what do I get out of this all the time? And it was, you know, I had a few people come in and said, hey, why don't you come and join and try to be a part of it and make those changes? And so I did so, and with that, I've learned a lot about what the chamber does and how it can help me. And I guess the benefit for me is, you know, the networking possibilities, the resources that we can take advantage of that I didn't even know when we first started that we even had. You know, our website works out fantastic. It's kind of just a big combination of everything for me. Being in food and beverage, it's interesting. In a small community, I'm always looking for, you know, ways of marketing or ways to enhance my business. It's always an ongoing process. Fortunately, I've been lucky enough to stay pretty busy the last 2.5 years, really busy the last 2.5 years. So I guess it's trying to figure out ways of being creative and marketing and getting involved in the community. And the chamber was a great resource for me to do so. And you know, like I said, the people I've met that have helped me out with certain things that are just on the chamber, it's been a great benefit for myself.
So like how you were a chamber member, then you joined the chamber, and now you're the president. So thank you for your service there.
Oh, thank you.
One last question.
Oh, okay.
My favorite one. What is a skill, a hobby, or an interest you have that would surprise people?
Man, skill. I guess.
Or hobby or interest.
Yeah, you know, I'll make it quick, but I guess, you know, I mentioned earlier I played baseball in college, so that'd be kind of a skill that maybe some don't know about me. Baseball is good. But my favorite thing probably to do would have to be golf. That's probably one of my favorite hobbies to do. I enjoy the Northwest is beautiful. The courses, there's so many of them around here. Our weather is a little bit unpredictable.
Yeah, that's
but, you know, other than that, for the most part, you know, we get some beautiful, this year's been fantastic. I went out and golfed Monday, actually, and it was blue skies, sunny, and 50 degrees, so definitely can't complain there. But that's probably, most people might know that about me, but that's my favorite thing to do, so I got to use it.
Well, that works. So, well, Josh, our time is up. So thank you for joining me for Chamber Chat, and appreciate, again, all the service that you do as our board president. And good luck with the awards banquet this year.
Thank you. Yeah, we're pushing. Go Crush.